put your hands together for John Lee.
Thank you. Wow. So, yeah, you guys can have a seat. Thank you so much. So, raise your hand if you are already using artificial intelligence. And raise your hand if you are already using a lot of social media. All right? See, here's what I really think that's super important about all the things that we do is innovation, but also understanding how to apply it. A lot of people talk about AI, but actually, what is the application of AI? How do we implement that? So I'm super excited to be here at eXp, and also want to thank Glenn and the entire eXp team in Barcelona. Give them a massive round of applause! So we're going to talk about AI. Really, it's about coming up with a process that can allow us to systemize the process. So if you think about what you do, and you think about how you implement it, it's really about the systemization of the process. Because people always say to me, John, like, what tool should I be using? Well, the answer is it depends. Like, if I want to build this house, right, it's like an architect. So when we talk about the AIA, which is, you had all the incredible speakers on stage just now, when we talk about the agents, it's to perform a task. That's why we want to do the things we do. But what is the next evolution of the AIA? We then move on to AI architecture. By the way, can you guys see this in the back? Yes. Yeah? Okay, cool. If you can't, then maybe they'll live stream it on the screen as well. So AI architecture, what do we mean by this? When we build a house, we don't just say we're going to build a house. We ask questions. How many bedrooms is it? How many floors is it? What square footage? Is it detached? Is it semi-detached? Right? Is it terraced? We have to understand the architecture of how we build things together in order to implement it. So, for example, when we look at the OKR, how many of you understand what OKRs are? Right? Okay, those of you that don't, it's your objective key results. That's what we want to think about. So, what is our OKR? What are we trying to achieve? Well, for agent attraction, you want to attract people to you, and then these people go out and they transact a lot of real estate, they do a lot of production, and then when they make sales, you get paid. Is that one OKR that we are looking to achieve as well? Yes. So then we need to design a process for that. How do we attract? And then how do we produce? That's really the two OKRs. And of course, a lot of the training as well. See, when we look at having people within our organization, in order for them to perform, you need to train them. Agree, yes or no? And luckily, eXp, they have incredible training to do that. And when you combine AI on top of that, you accelerate the process. That's why we want to do what we do. So, it's the AI agents formed into AI architecture, which then form, and this is where we want to be getting to. AI organizations. AI organizations form the process. This is why when you heard Carrie talk about, you can have literally one person in your organization, and they can produce all the results. Let me give you an example. People come to you and say, John, like, can you sit down with me, and I just want to ask you a few questions on things. And every time I do a lot of these talks, there's too many people that I have to speak to. And there's only 24 hours in a day. So we want to get into a process where we're not really having to speak to people, because 80% of the stuff that you do is kind of the same. The 20% is the specifics. I'll give you an example. So let's say my team want to speak to me, right? Or one of my clients. I can just make a phone call. John, I'm doing a presentation, and also I'm doing a launch of my book. What's the first thing I need to do when it comes to launching my book?
All right, launching a book, that's fantastic. To make sure we hit the ground running, are you planning to launch it online, in person, or both? Also, have you built up a launch list or wait list yet? That's usually the first thing I recommend.
Actually, John, I already know what your process is. Just give me the third step, because I forgot what it is. right? So all my information goes through, as you've heard, an AI pendant, right? So why am I wearing this here? It's got a record button on it. Records everything I say. Then I've got another mic, and also you can use things like Glenn was talking about, limitless. We've been testing a lot of that. Limitless, just put limitless on every single one of your team. Every time you go on a viewing, every time you go to recruit, every time you want to sell, like you're going to be able to form the best scripts, and all of these pendants form into one place. So let's say you've got all of the people within your organization now, right? But all that information feeds into a knowledge base. That knowledge base can then now produce the result that you want. Because now you don't have to speak to anybody, you can just call them 24 hours a day. And here's the thing, here's how things are changing as well. People don't really want to go from an A to Z. They want to go like A, B, C, D, Z. They want to get to a point where just tell me what I need to know right now. I don't care about the other stuff. Just tell me what I need to know right now of where I am. So that's why AI can accelerate the process of what we're doing. For example, let's just take an objection handling. Right? You do a lot of sales calls. Right? People already know how to show the properties. They already know how to do this. But they want to know specifically, I just want to know how to overcome this objection. The price is too low. Right? Or I need to speak to my wife about this. So if you're just training people in a specific process, and they just get that part, now they're starting to onboard faster. And here's the thing. If you want to attract people into your organization, they need to perform fast. Because if they don't perform fast, what happens? Do they gain motivation or lose motivation? They lose it. So actually, your first OKR is when you get people into your organization, get them on board fast, quick, get them performing. Even if it's a little win. So AI can do that now, okay? So I'm going to talk about some of the processes on how we put all this together. And again, if we're speaking all around the world, I speak about probably 200 keynotes a year, specifically on these topics. And I want to share with you, again, it's evolved. By the way, raise your hand if you've heard me speak before. Raise your hand if you've never heard me speak before. And raise your hand if you won't raise your hand no matter what I say. I knew it, it's always one of them. Alright, so let's talk about social media and then how do we, our OKR is to do more production and to attract more people to us. So, the first strategy, the first step is discovery. Right? People need to know that you exist. People need to, and again, eXp's got an incredible brand and there's a lot of people in there, so you've got that advantage. That's why it's so good to be part of this, because a lot of the branding is being done for you by Glenn and Leon, the entire organization. So you've got a lot of people to push yourself out there. Now, how many of you have a lot of people within your organization? Show of hands. Okay, can you shout out how many people you have right now in your organization? Just shout it out for me, I'll give you a strategy. 1,600?
147.
147? 3,000. Now, think of this for a second. Think of this for a second. So someone just said they have 1,600, that's 1,600. Right? So you imagine you have 1,600, that's basically 3 times the size of this room. Right? Have a look around. Imagine 3 times the size of this room. Step 1 is discovery. Best, write this down. The best known beats the best. The best known beats the best. Not the best. The best known. In fact, I'm going to say something to you. I want you to say what comes into your head. Right? What do cows drink?
Milk.
They don't drink milk.
Oh.
They drink water. You see? It's just, we've been conditioned. It's all discovery. Right? Let me say another thing. Name a fast food.
McDonald's.
Why McDonald's? Why not Burger King? Name a soft drink.
Coke.
Coke. Right, but why not Pepsi? You see, as big as by the way, would you say that Coca-Cola and McDonald's are a very big company?
Yes.
So why do they still need to be out there? Why do they still advertise? Even though they're so big. Right, on top of mind, because now we live in the world of noise. There's a lot of noise right now. So we have to cut through the noise. And the way you cut through is through discovery. So I'm going to show you a way to do this where, imagine you have 1,600 people within your organization, right? Take out your calculator for me. Take out your calculator for me. You have 1,600 people, let's just say, right? Now imagine if every single one of these agents within your organization for discovery produced one piece of content. By the way, with AI, you can produce thousands of pieces of content. But let's just say one. So the new algorithm now, you need to understand how the algorithm works. The algorithm pushes topics and industries, not followers. That means all of you, by the way, you should have about 10 Instagram accounts. Not one. And I'll explain why in just a moment. You see, if a brand new account can get you a reach of 500 people, just 500 people, then what happens if 1,600 of your organization produce one piece of content? So that means, take a calculator out, put 1,600 times 500. How much exposure do you get? 800,000 people per day. Now, how many days are there in a year? 300, so times 365 gives you how much views? 292 million. This, my friends, is called compound marketing. This is why you must use the power of artificial intelligence combined with social media to get discovery, to get reach. You see, by the way, are all 292 million people going to do business with you, yes or no?
No.
No. Let's take 1% of that. 1% is 2.9 million. Let's take 1% of that. That's 29,000 people. So you now have a conversion of 0% to 0.1% to 0.1%, which now either they're going to come to you when you can do a lot of production, or they'll come to you now you can do a lot of agent attraction. Raise your hand if you can see where I'm going with this. Alright? So let me give you some specifics then. Discovery, once we have that awareness, right, we then need to go to the next part, leads. Now, let's do some trivia here. L-E-A-D-S. What name or word do you see within the word leads? D-E-A-L-S. Spells what?
Deals.
Deals. You want more deals, you need more leads. That's it.
That's good.
It's good, right? Let's just simplify the process. Now, think about this for a second. Let's assume you have 1,000 people, right? And let's say you do X amount of profit with that, okay? So, if all we do is get more exposure, right? Let's say in this case you sold something, you made like $1,000, right? So you make $1 million, right? I know you make a lot more than that with the comms and things, but let's just assume. But if all we do is we double the amount of people, then we double the amount of revenue. We double the amount of deals. But then how do we go from 1,000 to 2,000? By discovery. By using the exact same strategy to share with you. And by the way, I don't just want to talk theory here on stage. Would it be okay if I actually show you how to do it? Yeah. Would that be okay, yes?
Yes.
Alright, cool. So, leads. Let's go to the next part. Qualifying and selling. A big part of how people do things right now, a lot of time is wasted through people who are not even interested. Agree, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So then we need to find a way to qualify, but the way people have been doing it in the past is by doing it manually. We don't want to do that. We want to use an artificial intelligence that once they see our content, they click a button, they go there, and they self-qualify. Because when we think about marketing, what do we really think about? Really, marketing is just a disqualification process. That's it. We disqualify the people that are not interested in what we have to offer. We disqualify the people who don't want to sell their real estate. We disqualify the people who don't want to be part of our organization. That's actually the whole point of this. So qualification, and again, there's a lot of AI that can do this. Let me show you a really good one, okay? Can you all see my, can you see this? Yes. All right, check this out. So, I'm going to use AI to do this. So we can all do this in about 5 seconds. So we can click continue. right? It says, how would you describe your business? I am a real estate agent. Okay? Click next. How to describe a target audience? Let's say first-time buyers. Next. How do you want to help your clients? Okay? Achieve mortgage pre-approval. Here's the thing. If you want to get people who want to sell their real estate, you need to get them a stage before they decide to sell their real estate. This is the secret. Don't get them once they've decided. Right? So, let's say, for example, prevent costly first-time mistakes. Click on that. Click next. So now it's going to ask us a bunch of questions. Okay? Are you ready to buy your first house? First-time buying mistakes. Click on this. Click next. AI is going to come up with a logic and sentiment analysis. This is the most important part of every business. Sentiment analysis. What is it?
Sentiment analysis.
You need to know who you're dealing with. AI will figure out, for example, if someone's an introvert, you need to talk to them like an introvert. If someone's an extrovert, you need to talk to them like an extrovert. And AI will tell you how to actually do this. Alright? So, I'm going to click on all these buttons. Basically, AI will come up with all the questions. Alright? And then I'm just going to click this button here, next. And then I'm going to create my quiz. One of the highest converting qualifiers in lead gen is taking some kind of assessment. Raise your hand if you've done a disc profile before. Right? It's the same thing. But now your disc profile is whether you want to have that person buy or sell property. So, what I've done is, I've got a URL now, so I click this URL, okay? And once I go in, it says, discover if you're ready to buy your home. Answer these 10 questions.
Ooh.
So you click the scorecard. So I just put my name in, John Lee, john@john.com, click start. Alright? So now, I have questions. Right? Do you have a stable income to support your mortgage payments? Yes. Have you checked your credit score? No. Do you have a budget for your total costs? Yes. Have you been pre-approved mortgage? No. Are you prepared to handle your mortgage? Yes. Do you have any emergency funds in place? Yes. Have you researched neighborhoods you're interested in? Yes. Are you aware of the additional cost of property tax? No. Right? So I just answer all these questions. Now, guess what? I have a score. I scored 60%. Right? Which means you can set the parameter of qualification depending on the questions people ask, sentiment analysis. So that means if they score 60%, guess what they can do now?
Get pre-approved.
Well, depending on what percentage they score, they see a different video. You see, this is where you have to meet people where they're at. You can't just put everyone into one basket. So, where the world is moving to now, write this down, personalized scale. Personalized scale. That means every single marketing campaign you put out is individualized for that person, based on how they watch it. Because we talked about AI organizations, and within the next 18 months, we're going to be at ASI. Superintelligence. Imagine right now you watch a video. And based on how you watch that video, are you a baby boomer? Are you Gen X? Are you millennial? Are you Gen Z? Right? So imagine so when we're advertising for our real estate, if it's a baby boomer watching the piece of content, it will know. Because you put in all your parameters. And then the content might be, hey, are you equity rich, cash poor? And you're looking to release some equity so you can enjoy the rest of your retirement. That's based on who hits my page. Dynamically, it will show. But then, let's say Gen Z sees that, right? Same ad, hit that page, but AI will know. Then it'll say, hey, you just graduated from university, and you're in debt, and you want to get a piece of real estate, and you want to make money, but you don't want to do any work. I'm kidding. Some Gen Z's now, I'm kidding.
No.
Right? But then it would show them a different ad. See, the problem is, when you try to recruit people to your organization, you try to do it one way, it's got to be every way, depending on that person's sentiment analysis. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is how we're evolving. Now, here's the thing. It's a lot more work. The good news is, most of your competitors aren't willing to do this. And the good news is, you're part of an incredible community where you all support each other. So now you can execute faster. So, now here's another thing. You scroll down to here, it says book a strategy call, right? So when they click that now, they're not speaking to a real person. They'll speak to, just like how I made a phone call now to me, they'll speak to my qualification. So depending on how you're talking to that person, there'll be keywords. Keywords will be like, oh, well, how do I do this? How does this work? How much does that cost? Like buying signals. And as the buying signals come in, it will then all human in the loop. So in that AI conversation, you get notification, this person's hot, click on it, real person now.
Wow.
Really, I think it's pretty powerful. Say yes!
Yes!
This is the opportunity. This is what's possible. Not in the future, now. Right now. So, this is one way we can qualify. Alright? Okay, let's go back to presentation. Alright. So, we've got discovery, leads, qualification and selling, and then recruiting. Right? So, depending on what people come to you for, depending on what you're going to do. So, let's talk about some of the strategies then. Compound marketing. How does compound marketing work? So, I'm going to go into, and I'll show you some of the processes. Alright? So, let's take this Instagram. This is my Instagram profile. Okay? If I click on, say, this post here, right? What I want you to pay close attention to is this. This video that I have hit 3 million views. But what I want you to pay attention to is, do you see where it says followers?
Yeah.
What percentage?
Small.
26.8. Now look at the one below it. What does that say?
73.
Non-followers. What does that mean?
They never saw you before.
That means 73% of the 3.3 million people that watch this video don't even follow me. Good news for you, bad news for me. I spent years building a following up. Now the following doesn't have that much impact anymore. So, if you know this rule, what should you be doing? You should be creating a piece of content, right? So, I'll give you an example. There's content that we want to produce, but we don't know what to produce. So we go to Google, and we just type in, sell my house, Barcelona, right? So what you want to pay attention to is this section here. People also ask. You see the buttons on the right-hand side? Click it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why 5 times? Because if you scroll down, if I click this button here, watch what happens. I get more suggestions. This is exactly what people are typing in, right? So, if we want to get a lot of discovery, right? The whole point is when we get more discovery, we can do more attraction, we can do more production. Does that make sense? Yes?
Yes.
So we don't have to worry about that. You all already know how to do that. But how do we get more people through the door? That's the number one OKR. Yes or no? Yes. So here's what we do. We have evolved from content creation to now evolving to documentation. Right? You see, how many of you don't like to put your face on camera? Show of hands. How many of you are a little bit camera shy? Alright. So those of you camera shy, first of all, you can use AI to clone yourself. I'll show you one of my clones later. But if you have to sit in front of a camera and say something, you have to think about what to say. Right? But now, you know exactly what to say. Because now we're not creating, we're documenting. So, how do you know what to create? So in the next break, I want you to type in which... Actually, how many of you are from Barcelona? Can you see your hands? A couple of people. How many of you are from outside of Barcelona? Alright. So, whichever location that you are in, just type in sell my house, Barcelona, sell my house, LA, sell my house. Basically, whichever location you're in, and then click the button 5 times. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you get that whole process. Right? Then, all you need to do is 30 seconds. Everyone's got a phone. I see you all filming right now. Right? So there's no excuses. You see, a lot of people have a lot of BS around. What does BS mean, please? Not your bullshit, your belief system. You have a lot of belief system around what you can and can't do. You see, if you just ask yourself a question, 30 seconds, do I pay tax if I sell my house in Spain? That's a genuine question that people are asking in order to make a decision to sell a property. So if you are an agent in Spain, then you would just answer the question. So you put a camera there, and you ask yourself the question, do I have to pay tax in Spain? Right? And you just answer the question. Because when people are searching for it, your video is going to show up. And as of the 11th of July, 2025, all social media content will now be SEO and AI search engine. Give yourself a round of applause. So we're now moving from the traditional Google to agentic browsing. Right? What is agentic browsing? When I type in stuff like this now, it's not going to come up. It's going to come up with an AI summary. Guess where AI gets a summary from? Social media. Because all the social media platforms have high page rank. High page rank means that it's a trusted URL. Meta, Facebook is a trusted URL. YouTube is a trusted URL. Right? LinkedIn is a trusted URL. Instagram is a trusted, you see where I'm going with this, right? So if these are all trusted URLs, where it crawls its information, where should you be?
Right there.
Yes! So the formula is this. We can create, we can document, or easiest one, creation, documentation, and today's world of AI, demonstration. So I'll give you an example, right? I don't know if any of you heard of Summer Newman. Right? Summer Newman. So what she does is she does a lot of real estate, right? All she does is she does demonstration of tours of real estate. You can all do this. Look. She's not even saying anything. How many views does this get? Right? Look at the views. 8.2 million views. 9.6 million views. 15.5 million. All she's doing is walking. Raise your, like, you can all do this. You're doing it anyway. Yes or no? Yes. You're doing it anyway. Right? Why do you think, where's Pearline? Where's Pearline? Pearline's there. You stand for a second. What's she got in her hand? DJI Pocket 3. Where's Nikki? Is Nikki here? Nikki's in the back. What's she got in her hand? DJI Pocket 3. Right? So, we document what we do because it's a net time. No extra time. It doesn't cost you anything extra to do. You just hold a camera and just follow you around. By the way, how does she make money doing this? Every time she posts one of these up from 15.5 million people, do you think some of these people are going to go, oh, that's a nice piece of real estate. I'm interested in doing a viewing there. Do you think they might be interested in that, yes or no?
Yeah.
That's how she sells all her real estate. Posts videos up, walks through, and people buy it. Why? Eyeballs. Do you know how much it costs to advertise in the Super Bowl? $6 million for a 30-second ad. Why? Ask me why. 100 million eyeballs. Everything's a numbers game and a people's game. And with AI and social combined together, it's an accelerator. This is how we grow, this is how we scale. Right? So all you need to do is just film content and then walk around and then put it on these socials and you get a lot of reach. That's it. It's not much complicated than that. You're already doing it. So the world we're kind of moving into now, we always start with the topic, right? So the topic is, piece of real estate in LA, right? Then you got the hook. Here's why you should buy in this street in LA. Then you got your format. So let's go back to the 1,600 agents. Okay, where's the person with 1,600? Okay, which location? Which country? Oh, worldwide. Right, so is it like a main place like US or, sorry? Florida. So, 1,600 agents view 1,600 pieces of real estate in every single zip code in Florida. They upload to social media. It transcribes every single word for everything you say, right? The words transcribed and sit behind the video as searchable text. That's how AI finds you. Can you imagine 1,600 people posting 1,600 pieces of content, specifically on real estate in Florida? She dominates. Raise your hand if you can see the power of this right now. By the way, how much does it cost you to upload a piece of content?
Nothing.
It's free! It's free! It doesn't cost you anything, but it's free! Like, take the free exposure, because it takes care of everything else, right? So, this is one example. Now, when we come to compound marketing, right? What do you mean by compound marketing? So, what you can do, there's a really good piece of content, reproduction, called video.ai, right? What you do is, you take your content, you click on this button here, create AI clips, click on that, you basically go to YouTube and you paste the YouTube link in here, and this AI will chop up 10 pieces of content for you. So if you're like, John, I don't have any pieces of content, just take a piece of content on YouTube specifically to do with your real estate, agent attraction, whatever it is that you're doing, and just put it to here, chop it up. Then you use another one called Blaze, BLAZE.ai. Blaze will then schedule it all in a calendar, you click schedule and it'll post it for you. Now you don't have to think about content. Is this powerful, yes or no?
Yes.
Right? You see, the reason I'm teaching you all these different things in this process, because eventually you can create an entire workflow for this. So now you're gonna be able to pick up your phone and say, create a piece of content for me in Miami, Florida. Make sure the prompt is about this. Use Avatar 6 and push it out in the content. And it'll literally speak to your workflow. And I'll show you what the workflow looks like. So there's another piece of powerful piece of software called N8N. It's like this, right? So I can create a trigger. I can go into the agent and I can attach anything to these. So, for example, I have my assistant called Nova, right? I'll introduce you to Nova. Let's see if the internet works. Hey Nova, are you there?
Hey there. So the internet is basically a giant network of computers all connected.
Okay, see, that's why it's a hot sauce I'm listening to. Alright, so again. Hey Nova, I'm speaking at eXpcon in Barcelona. Do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Absolutely, I'd love to. You can introduce me as Nova, which stands for Next Generation Optimized Virtual Assistant. I'm basically your AI sidekick here to help make everything smoother, faster, and more impactful. Basically, I do the heavy lifting so you can keep being brilliant on stage.
Right, so now I can connect Nova to this. So all commands and execution and workflow will be executed by Nova. Is that pretty cool, yes or no?
Yes.
Right, so this is one of the processes that you can start focusing on. So, when we talk about compound marketing, you can create a lot of content through that. That's why list building and segmentation is also important as well. Because now you're going to have so much reach, like 292 million people will see, like, you've got to qualify them, right? Then you've got to go into conversational AI, right? So let me show you how this actually works as well, okay? So, if I'm pushing content out there, what I'll do, I'll answer a question. And let's say this got 3.3 million views. I need to drive it somewhere. It needs to go somewhere. Right? I need to either speak to you, talk to you, or do some form of chat. That's why, how many of you are on WhatsApp, by the way? You're on WhatsApp? Okay, so there's a good tool called Wati. Right? Wati allows your entire team to be on WhatsApp. So as everything is being, all the messages and things that go through, you can basically program it so now your AI can talk to it as well. So you can mix it, which is pretty cool. So what I do is I take a piece of content, and so let's say this one had like 3.3 million views, 5.1 million, 564, 23,000, 41,000, 49, 752,000. This is all free views, right? So compound marketing to segment your list comes down to your MMM, write this down, message market match. If I want to do agent attraction, you talk about your lifestyle. You talk about what you're doing. Because when you talk about what you do, people will come to you and ask you, how do you do what you do? That's one of the best ways to do it. You want to do selling of real estate, right? Then you need to talk about how you sell your property. Here are the things you want to think about before you sell your property. Take this test before you sell your property. You know, it's interesting because, you guys talked about Bubble and Lovable. So I just went to Lovable this morning, and during breakfast, I built this sort of lead magnet for you. Because if you want to do segmentation, right? Where is it? A lot of stuff here. Oh, these are my AI twins, by the way. So if you don't want to create content, you can use UGCs, user-generated content. So, but these are all my avatars. Right? They're all fake John Lees. So let's say I've got a croaky voice in one morning. I don't want to create content. I'll say to Berlin, choose avatar 6, write the script for me using Nova, post it online. Then I don't have to create content anymore. Should I choose I don't want to? Right? If I don't have to do it. Right? So I just basically went to Nova and I just created this. Like, you can all create your own mortgage app, your valuation app, right? Home worth and bar. I just created this during breakfast. Right? So you can say, because look, you all know how to use Lovable, but it's the application of it. What do my sellers want to know? I want to know if I buy or sell a piece of real estate, how much tax am I paying? Is there tax? If I'm buying it, okay, how much loan can I get? So you can literally just build this. And you can put in your piece of real estate address, so I can put it in Florida, Miami, how many bedrooms, click property valuation, this links to all of the selling data and things, and gives you an average. Right, so people have an idea. Because what you want is you want to grab the attention. This is why the compound marketing is so important. Because the more people that see you, the more people can actually come to you to do business with you. Does that make sense? Yes?
Yeah.
So this is what I want to create a lot of these situations and scenarios where people can come to you to be able to get information. That's why you want to compound the information. Everything that you do. Because it all starts from the top. It's like a funnel. It's like the top is really wide. Right? And then it does this. It's like the golfer who's a lawyer that goes golfing, and every time he golfs, he always gets business because he's golfing. Because people always ask him questions. And then eventually what happens is he stops playing golf, and then the business stops coming in. So everything we do right now is actually counterintuitive. It's the things that we have to do in order to attract to us. Agent attraction. This is how you bring them to you. But it's got to be on a consistent basis, and it's got to be on a regular basis. And then you compound it all. So, here's how you do it. Right? Easiest way. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you following, by the way? Yes? Yes. Okay. So, easiest way. Create a long piece of content. Right? On YouTube. Why YouTube? Ask me why.
Why?
Because YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world. Currently. So, when you do a long piece of content, you take that and you put it into the one I just showed you, video, and that will chop it into all these different pieces of content that are 30 seconds long. Then you're going to take all of these and you post them on Fly GTI. Write that down. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google, Twitter, Instagram.
Oh.
Alright? All platforms now have a shorts feature. That means, and by the way, here's a really, really good new change for you. So when we finish this session, I want you to all get the updated version of Instagram. There's 2 new updates. First update, shared account access. That means members of your team can now manage your social media for you without you giving the password. Awesome, right? Give Instagram a round of applause for that. Right? Second feature, trial reel feature. What does that mean? You take your content, because here's the thing. The reason why you're not posting is like, oh, what if I get 2 views? No one cares now, because you got trial reel. When you click the trial reel feature, it only shows to Instagram's followers, and it doesn't appear on your wall. What does that mean? That means you can post every single day And you'll know which ones work and which ones don't. The ones that blow up, this is why format's so important. You have to understand what the format is. So one of your formats will be house tour. Right? For example, I have a friend of mine, his name's Shankar, and he does a lot of crypto trading. And every time his format, you look at all his videos, the ones that go viral, is when he's buying Bitcoin coffee. I'm buying coffee with Bitcoin. Every time one of those, that format happens, his videos go crazy. So we have to find our format. And the good thing about real estate is it's very aesthetically pleasing. You know, it's got this lifestyle, it's got this luxury to it. So straight away, like, can you imagine if every single agent in EXP did that? How much reach you would all get? But you gotta commit to do it as a team, as an organization. Can I challenge you to do that? Yes?
Yes.
Next 30 days, post one piece of content on all these platforms. Same content. That's what I do, look. Like, you don't have to get millions of views, it's the compounded views that matter. Look. So, this is my original account, I've got 2 million people on this, right? But I created another one called John Lee Success. Alright? This one has got 6,000 followers. But look, if I go into the reels, right, each one's getting 1,900, 500, 1,000, 1,800, 1,900, 1,300. So what I do is I take the exact same video and I go to YouTube. Sorry, TikTok. I got another account here called John Lee Success. Look, it's exactly the same videos. I get another 700 views, 800 views, 400 views, 300 views, 800 views. It's exactly the same, right? Then I go to Facebook, right? And I post the same content on Facebook. Views, 3.9 million, right? 300,000, 300,000, 76,000, 58,000. This is all organic, by the way. Don't even get me started on paid marketing. How do you know by the way, how many of you spend money on advertising? Okay, you need to start putting some money into advertising. But here's how you do it. Problem with advertising is more expensive now. Right? So then how do you know if your ad's gonna work? All you do what I tell you to do, you post the content out there, then you take the best performing piece of organic, run it as an ad. Now you know it converts. Because it's already taken off organically. Making sense, yes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that's what you do. Okay, now, I've got a little bit of time left. How many of you want something a little bit more advanced? Raise your hand. But you gotta want it, come on.
Come on.
Yeah? You gotta sound a little bit excited, you know? You see, everything's about energy. We all have, I would say, like, it's your energetic signal. Right? We always have that. Like, everything's energy. Right? Money is energy, transaction is energy. So we have to, when we put ourselves out there, we have to have intention. Right? For example, next time you create a piece of content, have an intention behind the content. Watch what happens to your content. It might not get millions of views, but it'll attract the right people to you. For those of you, especially if you're familiar with quantum physics and quantum mechanics. Anyone familiar with that? Okay. Dr. Emoto had this little exercise. And he basically said, if we take water and we pour it into a glass, one glass here, we say things like, I love you, you're beautiful, you're amazing. And then if you pour another water, and you say, I hate you, you're disgusting, you're ugly. Do you know they took this exercise? They froze the water, and they used a microscope to go into the particles. All the ones where you say beautiful things, all the particles were perfectly formed. The ones where they say negative things to it, all the particles were cracked and disformed. Now, here's the thing. What are we made of? What's most of our body made of? Water, right? Next time you shoot piece of content, take a breath first. Inject your content with intention.
Amen.
Right? When you inject, let's say your intention is age of attraction. You put that into the video. Here's the thing, you're not able to feel it, but it's energy. Like, for example, in this room there's Wi-Fi. You can't see it, but it's here. Yes or no?
Yes.
This is how we can think about content. When's the last time you had an intention to do that. And I promise you, when it's done properly, it will attract the right people to you. Right? So, let me show you something a little bit more advanced. Right? If I go to YouTube and I type in property Miami, right? So there's all these videos. Now, what type of people watch videos about property in Miami? What type of people? Do you think people who are interested in buying some kind of real estate or interested in real estate in Miami, yes or no? Yeah. This could be first-time buyers, it could be investors, and these are all people that can be part of your organization. Now watch this. I'm using AI, and this is why it's so important to use super agents now. We don't want to use normal agents, we want to use super agents. A super agent can perform multiple tasks at the same time that pull content. Right? So let me give you an example. So this one here, I'm going to go to this. This is TubeSift. I'm going to paste it in here like this, Property Miami, and I'll click search. This is going to scour the entire internet to find all the videos specifically to do with real estate in Miami. That means I can take all of this stuff, and before anyone watches any video on this, I can show my stuff first. Raise your hand if you've ever watched a video before on YouTube. Before that video plays, you get an advert that plays before it, show of hands. What do you normally do? Skip. You normally skip it, right? But if I type in real estate Miami, and then I get a video that comes up that says, hey, if you're looking to buy real estate in Miami, am I likely to skip that video, yes or no? No. You see this? This is scouring all the videos now. Right? It's doing all the work for me. What super agents do, they can go into websites and rip content. For example, I'm not saying you should do this. Disclaimer. Okay? Technically, you could use a super agent. Hypothetically speaking, you could use a super agent to go to LinkedIn to find other agents' details, and you could build an audience and make a post and show it back to them by using a super agent. Because super agents can do detailed, deep research into, and by the way, this is all public information on there. Because marketing is targeting. Marketing is what? Targeting. So we want to target the right people. So for example, you see here, I can use, and this way Google is important, right? So if I go to Google, I know this is a bit technical, but I want to show you some advanced stuff, okay? So over here, I can target the types of videos that I want to put my video in front of, okay? So how do I do that? I just scroll down, put some, I don't know, put $20 a day, right? Scroll down. I can put locations, Netherlands, United States, and then basically what I'm going to do is scroll down to it says placements. Right? So all I want to do is enter multiple placements. So I just go back to my, over here, get the links. You see all these links? Copy all of them. Right? Go back here, right click, paste. They're all there right now. I click this button, add 100 placements. That means I can upload a video to YouTube, and it will only show in front of all the videos that are on the internet to do with Miami property. I love it. Give yourself a nice round of applause. I'm telling you, guys, it hasn't got any easy. You could literally all dominate every single city in the world doing this. You see, the whole part of this is to build brand. Now, here's the problem with AI. It's getting so powerful. ASI will take over everything. So here's the good news. You have an incredible community here. One thing that will not be able to replace is community. So, you need to focus on building more community. You need to focus on building more connection. And you need to focus on building more data. The more data you have, the more connection you have, the better the community you can build. And so when we understand how all this stuff works, and then how do we build community, you can do things like podcasts, right? So here's one look. So I just created a video. Oh. And I can create an agent that looks cool and well dressed. Right? So you see this video down here? I can create videos based on the image now. Right? And if I show you my avatar as well, check this out.
About problem-led content is one of the biggest challenges that businesses face is no leads, no sales, no revenue, no business. It's as simple as that. In fact, when you learn how to leverage content, you then know how to create avatars. In fact, I'm not even real. This is an AI version of John, and it looks pretty realistic. You can see that I'm moving, I'm talking, and for most people, if you don't know who I am, you would never be able to tell the difference.
Does that look real?
Yeah.
That's an AI version of me. You can all do that with yourself if you want, and but obviously you have to tell social media you're doing AI and all that kind of stuff, right? Then you can do things like languages as well. So I can take languaging.
The biggest skill you can learn is the power of artificial intelligence, learning how to put into businesses and learning how to monetize it. Fähigkeiten, die Sie lernen können, ist die Macht der künstlichen Intelligenz zu lernen, wie man in Unternehmen zu setzen und zu lernen, wie man es zu Geld zu machen. あなたが学ぶことができるスキルは人工知能の力を学ぶことであり、それをビジネスに投入し、収益化する方法を学ぶことである。Habilidades que usted puede aprender es el poder de la inteligencia artificial aprender, que la forma de poner en las empresas y aprender a monetizarlo. 你可以学习的技能是人工智能的力量，学习如何将其投入到企业中，并学习如何将其货币化。Le competenze che si possono apprendere sono il potere dell'intelligenza artificiale e l'apprendimento di come inserirla nelle aziende e come monetizzarla.
So now, remember I talked about compound marketing?
Yeah.
Remember I said that you take that one piece of content and you put it on Fly GTI, 6 platforms. What if you took the same video, created a different platform in a different language, and posted that content as well? Now you times it by how many languages there are in the world. That's what Mr. Beast is doing. That's why he has 400 billion followers. Because we now have the power to do this. Before, we didn't have the power to do this. Now, the power is within our fingertips, literally. So, but by the way, how many of you got a lot of value from this session, by the way? Wow. Yeah? But you got to implement it. Because it changes so fast. Right? All these things that we talk about, whether it's compound marketing, list building segmentation, conversational AI, voice AI, right? All the things I've demonstrated to you, sales funnels, right? All this stuff make a big difference in how you grow and how you scale. But it comes down to applying it, because when everyone's digging for gold, what do you sell? The spades. But you've just been given a spade that can transform into anything at any time to perform any task. And I think a big part of this is really understanding how we implement this together. So I have a little gift for you, by the way. By the way, where's Kirk and Julia? Are you guys here? Oh yeah, can you just come up for a second? How many of you would like to get a list to all my AI tools, my whole team research everything? Say yes.
Yes.
Right. This is Kirk and Julia. It's my brother, by the way, the buff version of me. And this is Julia. Say hi. Hi. All right. Give a round of applause. All right. So make sure we're going to be around for the next couple of days. And if you like to have a conversation with me, have a chat to them, we'll give you the AI resources. Just don't share it with everybody. Because these are all my R&D people that put everything together. We research, then we test it, then we show live examples, and then you can do that. Would that be cool? Yes? Yes. Okay. Second thing is, because I know a lot of you from different parts of the world, Glenn's been one of my mentors. And he's taught me a lot of stuff with like trading and stocks and given me a lot of advice on my businesses that's helped me make a lot of money. So I want to repay the favor. I want to give back to the EXP community as well. How many of you would love to learn over 2 days how to do this stuff in detail, specific to your business? Say yes! Yes! All right. So here's my gift to you, all right? Now, I'm running a 2-day business accelerator, okay? We cover social media marketing, we cover building a personal brand, we cover AI specific to agent attraction, production, and also building a personal brand. We talk about lead generation, we talk about recruiting as well, and how we can do that. It's a lot of automation, because now we're moving to AI architecture, so you need to understand how to put that agent together. And a little tip, ChatGPT can now use JSON. JSON is the language that produces the architecture. So what you do is, we figure out what your automation is, we build it in ChatGPT or Claude, then we put it into N8N and it'll build out the entire automation for you. You click a button and it'll execute it. Will that be pretty good, yes or no? Yes. Right? And also as well, selling more real estate. Because obviously, now we can help each other do this. Right? So, what I want you to do is scan this QR code, take out your phone, scan this QR code. And by the way, I'll be running one in Barcelona on the 1st and 2nd. So if you're still around, come to one in Barcelona. If not, we run them all around the world. Right? The location will be the Novotown. We do charge $2,997 for this. That's what people pay from who are outside of the community. But this is free for EXP. Come on. The only condition is when you do really well, you pass it down to all the people in your organization. Is that good? Yes?
Yes.
And now you've got all the sponsorships process as well. This is something Glenn and I talked about. I want to get involved in that as well, right? So, scan this QR code and use the, by the way, because I have to hire a venue, I have to pay for teas and coffees and things like that. In the past, we've had people come and say, I'm going to come, but they don't show up. Then we've hired a venue and people in these empty seats. So I will have to charge a very small commitment fee. Is that fair, yes? Yes. So pay for teas and coffees and things like that. So scan the QR code and use the coupon code EXP. Make sure you click apply. Because if you don't want to click apply, it's going to charge the full amount. Right? The small commitment fee is like $97. It's like for 2 days. Right? So scan that QR code. And then also, when you go, it'll look like this. If you wonder where the coupon code is, it's right there. Click add discount code. Right? And put EXP. And it'll be $97 USD. Right? That's just again, because obviously we hire a venue, there's costs. If you can't make the one in Barcelona, we run them in all around the world. So I know a lot of you from the US, right? So yeah, that's really it. I guess my last message to you is this. When you're focusing on artificial intelligence, try not to think about it as AI. Think about it, if I had someone on my team who can do marketing, I had someone on my team that can do sales, I had someone on my team that can do the operations, I have someone on my team that can implement a lot of this process for us. Think about AI for task performance, not as a technology. Because when you start to think about it as technology, you always think about, what tools do I need to use? And then you should be focused on the solution that you provide. This is what I want for all of you. And one last thing as well. Some people don't want to use AI because they're scared. Unfortunately, we live in a world where this is irreversible. It's like when COVID happened, like when you did live events, you had to do them online, right? But now we do them offline, so that process was reversible. AI will not be reversible. It's coming and it's coming fast. So you need to start adopting now. The skills gap's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. We want to implement it now. When? Now. When? Now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. My name is John Lee. I hope you guys thank you so much.